Today we're going to be making this card from the Nursery Rhymes cartridge. We're going to be cutting the little boy. He's called Good Boy, and his word art is "What a good boy am I." We're cutting him at 4 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that. He is key number 20 on your keypad, and since I'm just cutting the base first, I don't enter any feature keys. I just go ahead and press cut. If you're wondering why it doesn't look like I have this cartridge in, it's because this is actually a preview cartridge and I have not got the real one yet. So that's why it looks a little bit different than what you're used to. So it takes a lot of counting and whatnot sometimes to figure out. I have pressure and speed at max, and I have blade depth at 6, but you can see I had a little tear there, and so perhaps I should have slowed down. I have gone ahead and recut that for the rest of the video, but just so you know. Now here to cut the shadow, I just hit the shadow feature key and key 20, and there I go, to inking. Next step in making my cards is to go ahead and ink all the. I'm using the Cat's Eye chalk ink. You can find this at all the major craft stores, usually in a bunch. They'll come like 5 in a pack of coordinating colors. But this is real handy, very handy to use. And I just go around the edges you can see it's very simple to ink, but it gives things a little bit more dimension. Also, if you have any trouble spots, especially on stuff you might have cut yourself, you don't really get this on the Cricut, but sometimes papers don't always get cut right because maybe your blade is dull on your paper trimmer. This covers up a myriad of sins such as that. So I love to use ink for the depth and also, to give things a little bit of coverage. So I'm just going ahead and inking all the edges that I can of my project before I start assembling it. That's always a good move to do. So now I have my inside pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and ink those too while I'm here. So just so you get a look at that, I just have an inside piece of yellow and then that little strip of blue I just did. So I'll start putting that together here in a second. Now I took an 8.5 by 11 and I cut it in half the long way, and then all I did is fold it. This will create an A2 size card. An A2 size card is 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches. That's what the cover looks like. Okay, here you can see working around the camera sometimes means you don't lay stuff on very straight. So that's why I lifted that up. Even so, I could probably lift it again, but all right, time is of the essence here. So back what I was saying, A2 card is 4.25 by 5.5, and that is the dimensions of the very front of it. So actually that card was 4.25 by 11, and then I just folded it in half. Is that making sense? Now for all these pieces here, all I did was pretty much go down by 1/4 inch or so. Well, 1/4 inch. Usually you can do that. I think my background is, my solid yellow is down 1/2 inch. So you just start moving things down to make layers. Now, here's the questions I'm going to get. The tweezers I'm holding are called tweezer bees. They're by EK67. You can find them at Michael's. You can find them at Amazon.com and Scrapbook.com and all over. And the glue I'm using is Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive Glue, and it is awesome. Now, what I'm doing here too is I'm punching some holes that the Cricut had marked, and I'm going to put some mini brads through them. My punching, as you'll see in a minute, wasn't exactly very even. But I left that so you guys know that can happen, and you can just press on. So I just wanted you all to know that. So I'm just putting some little white mini brads in there to give it a little depth or something. I think that's a little tray that the little boy has. So fast and simple. But see, they're not exactly spaced evenly from one another. And I tried to overcome my perfection and just lay it down anyway. So I hope you all forgive me. Now I've got my Scotch ATG gun, 714. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this bow I tied previously, because who wants to watch that? It's going to take forever to see. So that's why you don't see me tying the bow. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that little strip there. And then I'm going to mount my bow on there with glue dots, which I will go get. Here I am. And there you go. So pretty simple, and I'm kind of fiddling with the bow. Then I decide the tails are a little bit too long because I'm covering his face, so I go ahead and trim those. And I just trim them flat. Typically I like an angle, but I didn't want to risk it working around the camera here, so you got a flat one. Now he's going to go in there. I want to pop dot this, so I have some pop dots left, not a lot of them. So you'll see what I do. I use up all the pop dots, and then I'm gonna use that whole piece, that whole honeycomb piece. So there you go. So you can always do that, and then there's absolutely no waste. And that's real convenient for big sheets like this where you'd be really laying down a lot of pop dots. I hope you enjoyed making the card today, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care now. Bye-bye.